3 years later, TikTok finds itself at the crossroads of fate once again, facing the same difficult choice: should it sue and fight again, or give up? On March 15, the Biden administration threatened TikTok's parent company, ByteDance, to sell TikTok's shares, otherwise the app would be banned in the United States. Obviously, as the only Chinese product in the mainstream social media market in the United States, TikTok, which has been extremely popular in the past few years, has become a thorn in the US government. The US government has continuously introduced various policies to suppress it, with the aim of making TikTok break away from its Chinese roots. So, if TikTok abandons the US market, can it survive and avoid US sanctions? Today, we will talk about this issue. First of all, this kind of thinking is naive. As far as international competition is concerned, TikTok's position as the only made in China among mainstream social products in the world must not be given up easily. In addition, as far as commercial development is concerned, TikTok cannot afford to give up the US market. Losing the US market will not free TikTok, but will push it into a more precarious position. Only by persisting in litigation and fighting can TikTok win a turning point in fate and a bright future for itself. Why can't TikTok avoid the US government's ban by giving up its US business? First, the United States is the most important market in the global social field, and almost all global social media giants are American internet giants. TikTok has created and expanded the short video market with its novel and interesting personalized functions and artificial intelligence recommendation algorithms. It has become a social giant with over 1 billion users worldwide, and it is the only Chinese internet company that has entered the mainstream social market in the United States. Such a unique and frontier core position must not be given up easily. The reason why the US government continues to impose sanctions on TikTok is to drive the only Chinese social product out of the US market or force ByteDance to sell it at a low price. If TikTok voluntarily withdraws from the US market under the threat of the US government's ban, it will mean that the US government wins without a fight. This is precisely what the US government wants to see. Furthermore, even if TikTok gives up the US market, its situation cannot get better. In the past year, under the impetus of the US government, several major US allies, such as the United Kingdom and Canada, have introduced government equipment bans on TikTok. If the US government just threatened to block TikTok and TikTok withdrew voluntarily, then these US allies would follow suit and drive TikTok out of their markets one after another. In fact, Huawei, which faced the most sanctions from the United States, did not voluntarily exit the American market. Despite being under the shadow of sanctions, Huawei worked hard to develop its telecommunications equipment and smartphone businesses in the United States. It even reached a cooperation agreement with AT&T, the second largest operator in the USA, but was stopped by the US government at the last minute. After the US government banned sales, Huawei sued them. Secondly, the US market is of great significance to TikTok as it has the most important user groups, corporate customers, and algorithm resources. Currently, TikTok has 150 million monthly active users in the US market, an increase of more than 70% from 86.9 million in 2021. While social giants such as Meta have fallen into stagnation and market saturation, and under the shadow of US government sanctions and blockade, TikTok maintains a strong growth momentum in the United States, illustrating the vitality of this app in the country. Moreover, more than 40% of TikTok users are young people aged 18 to 24, and more than 90% of users open the app every day. These are the most valuable users in the social field, and this is also the reason why saturated and aging Meta attacks TikTok and plagiarizes its content, as they are eager for these young social users. Besides, most of TikTok's important content creators are also in the US market. They maintain a win-win symbiotic relationship with the TikTok platform. The engaging content they create is the main reason why TikTok attracts young users. If TikTok exits the US market, these American content creators will also be forced to move to other platforms, and the appeal to TikTok users in other parts of the world will also sharply decline. The United States is still TikTok's most important source of revenue. TikTok has become the most active social platform for young people in the United States, and it is also the main choice for American companies to conduct marketing. According to market research firm Oberlo, TikTok's global advertising revenue exceeded $11 billion last year, maintaining a growth rate of more than double. Among them, the US market revenue is close to $6 billion, and it is expected to grow to $8.75 billion this year. If TikTok withdraws from the US market, it will lose more than half of its revenue. Thirdly, the US market is also related to TikTok's core competitiveness, its algorithms. The United States is the market where TikTok users interact the most frequently. American user data is of key significance to TikTok's algorithm update, which is also the value of TikTok's establishment of an AI R&D team in California. Although US user data must remain local, the algorithm trained using US user data is universal to TikTok globally. So, how can TikTok fight against the threat of being blocked by the US government? Let's take a look back at how TikTok survived the last time. In August 2020, the Trump administration issued 2 consecutive executive orders against a foreign-funded company, attempting to force Byte to sell TikTok's US business at a low price. That was perhaps the darkest day for TikTok. Faced with the federal government's approaching steps, TikTok seemed to have no option but to sell at a low price. Even TikTok's US President Kevin Mayer, who was poached from Disney by TikTok, chose to leave. American buyers, on the other hand, were eager to buy it. 2 giants, Microsoft and Walmart, took advantage of the situation and sought to take over the deal at a low price, even offering to pay the Trump administration a favorable fee. Microsoft CEO Nadella embarrassedly admitted last year that negotiating the purchase of TikTok with the help of the US government was the most awkward thing he had ever done. However, in a seemingly desperate situation, TikTok did not bow its head and chose to fight through litigation. On the one hand, TikTok cooperated with the US cloud computing giant Oracle to store US user data completely on Oracle servers, which meets the security requirements for data localization and temporarily blocked the US government's ban. After all, Oracle is the data partner of the US government. On the other hand, TikTok sued the Trump administration at the end of August and received the support of a federal district judge at the end of September, temporarily freezing Trump's blocking order and winning the most critical breathing time. Because the Trump administration's focus shifted almost entirely to the US election, it had no time to continue blocking TikTok. On December 7, a second federal district judge once again froze Trump's ban order, and the 2 sides thus far have fallen into a lengthy legal battle. In June 2021, while the new Biden administration continued to revoke many policies of the Trump administration, it also revoked the executive order against TikTok. 3 years ago, TikTok used a lawsuit to prevent the implementation of Trump's ban order when there was no way to retreat, and it was finally delayed until the change of the US government. This time, they can still continue to sue the Biden administration. Moreover, in 2020, 2 federal judges successively froze Trump's executive sanctions, citing administrative overreach and arbitrary behavior, which also set an important precedent. If the Biden administration orders TikTok to be sanctioned, a federal judge is likely to issue a temporary freeze based on the precedent, providing TikTok with more time to operate. Important legal cases in the US typically go from federal district courts to appeals, the federal circuit, and possibly the Supreme Court, a process that can take years. Therefore, before the federal government's final ban comes, TikTok still has enough time to negotiate data security with the US government and use stricter EU data security standards to seek a possible compromise solution. As long as TikTok is not completely blocked, there is still hope for a turnaround. Another point to consider is that directly blocking TikTok may offend young voters in the United States, which is also taboo for the Biden administration. Among young Americans, TikTok has become a way of life. A recent survey by Morning Consult shows that less than 1/3 of young Americans support banning TikTok on national security grounds. Earlier this year, after the University of Oklahoma blocked TikTok on campus Wi-Fi, some students continued to use TikTok through a VPN. As a gathering place for young voters, TikTok has become one of the most important public opinion battlegrounds in the United States. Young voters tend to lean towards the Democratic Party in terms of their political stance. Before the 2020 midterm elections, Biden even personally met with TikTok influencers, hoping to win over young voters through them. It is clear that the Democratic Party will not want to alienate its base, or dampen their enthusiasm for voting before the 2024 presidential election. In comparison, using political pressure and discriminatory treatment to force TikTok to withdraw from the US is a less risky strategy for the elections. This way, it pleases conservative voters who are anti-China and avoids the public opinion responsibility of banning social media. TikTok should recognize true aim by the US government. In addition, the international competition of Chinese companies has never been smooth sailing, and only by persevering will there be a broad future. Well, thanks for your watching, and please be free to put your comments below and share your insightful ideas. I am Tech Teller, the person to tell you the opinions that are worth spreading every day. Thank you so much for your continuous support. See you.